College applications. Everyone's favorite topic to talk about, am I right? Although the process of applying to colleges is very extensive, it's important to start with the foundational step of where you're going to be applying, and that is the platform to which these colleges put their applications on. This week, we will be covering the Common App, otherwise known as the Common Application, and the UC application. So, let's dive in.
The Common Application is essentially a one-stop shop for the majority of your college applications. As most institutions accept applications through the Common Application, you are able to give them basic information about yourself, your high school experience, and baseline essays. This way, you'll still probably have some school-specific essays to write, but you don't have to reiterate the same basic information for each of your school applications. The Common App has different tabs that ask you for different information. The first is Profile, which asks for things like your name, your gender, and pronouns, your birthday, etc. It asks for your address, contact details, demographics, language, birthplace, and nationality. There's also a place in this tab to submit a Common App fee waiver. The next tab is Family, which asks you for information on your family, like their name, where they went to school, etc. Then there's Education, where you tell them things like where you went to high school, your class size, GPA, and the current courses you're taking, which will be like November of your senior year. Next is Testing, in which you have the option to self-report test scores like SAT, ACT, AP, IB, etc. Following this is Activities, in which you can fill out up to 10 extracurriculars and give a brief description of it and an estimate of the time commitment. These can be clubs, community service, musical instruments, sports, work, family responsibilities, etc. There's also the Personal Essay tab, in which you respond to one of the Common App essay prompts in 650 words or less, and there's a space for additional information as well. The final tab is Courses and Grades, where you basically report your high school transcript. The Common App personal statement is basically a chance for you to give the admissions committee an opportunity to learn about you on a more personal and genuine level that goes beyond the numbers and statistics that they see. The prompts change every year, but some examples of some are like reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? Or reflect on something that someone has done for you that has made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has this gratitude affected or motivated you? Just prompts like that. Try to speak on something that is meaningful to you and differentiates you in your mind from the people around you in some way. You want to give the admissions people a sense for who you are as a person off the page. Supplemental essays are essays that each vary by college, as these are the questions that each college specifically wants to hear about. Some common ones are like why this school or why this major essays, but otherwise they vary pretty drastically by school. These prompts are also found in your Common App under each school, so you're able to submit your entire application to each school through the Common App.
The UC application is what one fills out to apply to the UC schools. With the UC application, you fill out one application and then choose which USC schools to send the application to. In other words, you submit one application for all the UCs that you want to apply to. There are many parts in the UC application. The first section is the About You section, which asks you for basic information about yourself and your family. The next section is Campuses and Majors, where you select the campus that you'll be applying to and the majors that you are interested in. Then there's the Academic History section. Here you report the courses and grades from your time in high school. Throughout this section, it is important to refer to your transcripts to make sure that you report all the information needed. Test scores is the next section, where you can submit your scores for the ACT, SAT subject tests, AP exams, IB exams, TOEFL or IELTS international exams. Continuing on, there's the Activities and Awards section. In this section, you list the activities/extracurriculars that you are involved in and the awards you have received. In this part, it is important to focus on the activities and awards that are the most important to you, and to choose quality over quantity. When listing your activities and awards, you will also have to put each one into one of 6 categories. These 6 categories include award or honor, educational preparation programs, extracurricular activity, other coursework, volunteering/community service, and work experience. Continuing on, there's a scholarships and programs section, which allows you to select all the scholarship categories that apply to you. In this same section, you can indicate if you want to be considered for the Educational Opportunity Program. Next, there's a Personal Insight section where you answer 4 of the 8 personal insight questions. These personal insight questions will be explained thoroughly soon. In this same section, you can utilize the additional comments field to address any issues that you weren't able to explain in the application. Finally, there is the review and submit page where you are able to review your application before submitting it. The UC essays involve 8 personal insight questions, which allow you to tell the UCs about you and show your personality. While there are 8 personal insight questions that you can choose from, you only have to respond to 4 of the questions. It is important to note that each of your responses are limited to 350 words or less. Now let's look at the 8 personal insight questions. The first question is, describe an example of your leadership experience in which you have positively influenced others, helped resolve disputes, or contributed to group efforts over time. With this question, you can dive into a leadership role that you had and the impact you were able to make in this role. The second question is, every person has a creative side, and it can be expressed in many ways: problem solving, original and innovative thinking, and artistically, to name a few. Describe how you express your creative side. In this question, you can explain what creativity means to you and how creativity influences your actions and decisions. The third question is, what would you say is your greatest talent or skill? How have you developed and demonstrated that talent over time? With this question, you can describe your best talent or skill, explain why it is so meaningful to you. Next, the fourth question is, describe how you've taken advantage of a significant educational opportunity or worked to overcome an educational barrier you have faced. In this question, you can describe an educational experience that prepared you for college or write about educational obstacle you have faced. The fifth question is, describe the most significant challenge you have faced and the steps you've taken to overcome this challenge. How has this challenge affected your academic achievement? For this question, you can talk about a challenge that you have faced and what you learned from this said challenge. The sixth question is, think about an academic subject that inspires you. Describe how you have furthered this interest inside and or outside of the classroom. In this question, you can describe a passion that you have and any experience you have with it. The seventh question is, what have you done to make your school or your community a better place? For this question, you can describe a community that you are a part of and state what you have learned from being a part of this community. The eighth question is, beyond what has already been shared in your application, what do you believe makes you stand out as a strong candidate for admissions to the University of California? In this question, you can talk about something else about you that you want to highlight and explain in your application. Now, those are the 8 prompts you can choose from. Again, just remember that you only have to write 4 essays and only choose 4 prompts. That's the UC application.
No matter the college you choose to apply to, it's always important to remember that there are several different methods to applying to colleges and submitting your application. It's all about finding the one that works best for you. Remember to check each of the requirements of the colleges that you choose to apply to, keeping in mind that certain application platforms have different necessary components than others, whether you choose to do the common application or UC application. Understanding these different methods can help you find the one that best fits you.